So coming from CNBC, oh my golly, investors might be growing half a brain. Oracle beats on earnings, but stock drops on plans to raise another $20 billion. All we need is another $20 billion, and then we'll have AGI, I swear. So I think this is an interesting story because it's about Oracle, right? So Oracle basically has contracts with OpenAI and other companies in order to build out massive AI infrastructure. So OpenAI I do believe they have a contract with Oracle for $300 billion over 5 years, so $50 billion a year to provide basically hardware services for their AI infrastructure. The thing is, Oracle has gone out there to start building out these data centers, and a lot of people don't want to have anything to do with it, right? So they're trying to do debt financing for a while. They weren't able to get any more loans from the banks. That's when they then went to lay off 20 to 30,000 employees. Like literally, they stated, we are laying off 20 to 30,000 employees just to free up enough money in order to pay for this AI infrastructure development. And so what's interesting here is Oracle's numbers are actually good, right? So quarterly, all these publicly traded companies have to put in the paperwork to show how the company is doing. It looks like that they're actually doing good, but they also put to paper that they want to try to borrow or get more money, $20 billion more money for these AI buildouts. And with that has actually scared investors, right? That's one of the big things I talk about in the whole public company world, you know, when you can actually sell your equity on the stock exchanges. One of the big concerns is optics. How do investors view the information that you're providing them? So I've talked about this before, where we have all of these technology companies that simply hired way too damn many people. For whatever reason, not going to go into it, they hired way too many people over a number of years, and they have to right size. Essentially, they have to eliminate employees to get the employee count, the head count down to something reasonable compared to the revenue that they're actually bringing in. The problem is they're concerned from an optics standpoint is because basically if they say, well, what we're doing is we're right sizing our company, right? That brings up a lot of questions to investors about why did the company get so bloated to begin with, right? What failure in management was there that allowed the corporation to get so bloated with employees? How much money that could have been going back to the investors at just dividends or whatever got lost because the management was failing? And then that makes investors, not feel so good about the company. On the other hand, if you say we're laying off all these people because AI has increased efficiency, right now optically, that is not management that is behind the times. That is not management that has been continuously failing over a number of years. This is management that is on the cutting edge of what's currently happening. Now, at the end of the day, if you're an employee, you still lost your job, right? Tens of thousands of people are still out of work. But from the company's standpoint, it's better optically to say you're laying people off because of artificial intelligence productivity gains than it is to say you just need to fire people because you just have way too damn many of them. And so that's one of the interesting things to be looking at with Oracle right now. One of the big concerns for the investors out there is the whole question of, is any of this going to pan out? So if you look at OpenAI, right? OpenAI is a disaster. OpenAI is a crap show. They want to IPO at $1 trillion. Right now, there's this whole thing, they're going to come out with a super app. Like, they're grasping for straws ever more by the day. It's actually weird to be looking at the downfall of OpenAI, right? Instead of just being the ChatGPT, they want to be a super app because that'll be the product everybody cares about. They're going to be lowering costs, right? So in order to compete with Anthropic and Google, they're going to be dropping how much they sell their product for. So again, think about this. So they want to be worth $1 trillion. But then they're lowering how much they're selling their product for. There's so much demand for their product that they have to lower their prices. Have you ever heard that one before? Have you ever heard that? Like, imagine if I had a pizza delivery shop and I was like, my God, I am selling so much pizza, I have to reduce my prices. You're like, what? No, that's not how it works. Supply and demand. If you're selling that much pizza, maybe you should raise your prices, right? That is how capitalism is supposed to work. You're not supposed to have so much demand that you lower your prices. And anyway, so one of the interesting things with all the circular financing and everything going on in the whole AI world is you look at Oracle, right? And so Oracle should be in a good position. So Oracle, their earnings and all of that are up. They have this $300 billion contract with OpenAI. So investors should really be excited about Oracle. But if people start looking at it and they're like, that's a big contract from OpenAI, right? This isn't a $10 billion contract or a $20 billion contract or a $30 billion. This is a $300 billion contract. And so Oracle is doing all this CapEx. They're doing all of this build out in order to supply the resources required for this contract, $300 billion contract for OpenAI. And one of the questions that will start coming up is, do you actually think OpenAI is viable? Because what happens if Oracle just pumps a tremendous amount of money into AI deployments, and then OpenAI goes belly up, which I think is becoming more and more of a possibility as the day goes by. And then all of a sudden, that's where you have to think about, I talk about this with dominoes with the economy. OpenAI falls, and then think about all the other people that have contracts with OpenAI. So I talk about with the Great Recession, right? One of the things that sucked about the Great Recession, everybody thinks contracts. I don't know why. Like, people think contracts are like this magical fucking totem. Like, I have a contract, that means I have the money. No, you do not have the money till that shit gets deposited in your account. And under certain circumstances, that might even get clawed back, which is its own fucking disaster. We're not going to go into that right now, right? Until the money is in your account, you don't actually have it. And so think about all of these contracts, right? So many of these publicly traded companies and so many of these AI plays, right? The value that we're being told is based off of these contracts. But these contracts are with companies that might be a little bit questionable about their viability. And so if those companies start failing, what are the domino effects? And so if you're seeing Oracle stock drop because investors are starting to get queasy about Oracle needing more money for these AI buildouts, this might mean that, I hate to say, the bubble is starting to pop, but maybe investors have actually drunk coffee. Hey, dear investors, there's this thing called coffee. I tried to introduce Biden to it. He didn't like it. Maybe you would like it. It's amazing. You drink some coffee, your eyes get really wide, you feel really awake, and then you read the paper. You read the paperwork you're about to sign. And then you realize, oh, this paperwork is stupid. Maybe the investors are actually getting some cups of coffee. Oracle reported better than expected earnings and revenue for the fiscal fourth quarter on Wednesday, while also raising its profit forecast for the year. The stock dropped 10% in extended trading as the company plans to raise more money to finance its AI build out. So think about this: better than expected, not even good, better than expected earnings and revenues, and the stock dropped by 10%. Revenue increased 21% year over year on the quarter. So when we're talking about it going up, we're not talking about 1, 2, or 3%. 21% is pretty damn good, which ended on May 31st, according to a statement. Net income rose of $4.22 billion from $3.43 billion. So it went up by, $800 million per quarter. Adjusted earnings exclude impact, blah, blah, blah. Oracle said it foresees raising $40 billion through debt and equity financing, including a $20 billion share sale it announced earlier. And this is the other thing that I'm really interested about. I do wonder what's going to happen with all these IPOs, is that all the other companies are selling their shares too. Like, so normally, and I've been talking about this for this IPO thing for a while, there's this whole question of is there enough liquid investable cash out there to actually pay for these IPOs? Even if these IPOs are great, even if you're an investor who's just wants to buy into all these IPOs, there's actually a question about is there enough money out there to buy into the IPO, right? So with Alibaba, their raise, I just took a look at it. So their raise was $29 billion when they IPO'd, which is one of the largest raises in history, right? SpaceX alone wants $75 billion. So SpaceX alone wants 2.5 times what Alibaba did. And that's that. And so SpaceX is going to try to do $85 to $86 billion in a raise. And then you're going to have Anthropic that's going to try to do a raise. So they're probably going to do a large raise. And then you have OpenAI that's going to do a raise. And they're going to try to do a large raise. And so the first question there was for all of this AI investment, especially with these IPOs, is just simply, is there enough cash on the table, like literally, to pay for these IPOs at these enormous valuations? And that was before. As I say, with this whole AI disaster, it only gets stupider. So even you got all those IPOs, and there's a big question about how much money there is for those IPOs. Then you have Google come out. Google came out, I think it was this week, and they said in order to pay for their AI expansion, they're going to sell $85 billion in equity, right? So Google is essentially going to do a raise the same size or bigger than SpaceX is going to do, right? So they have their own equity, right? When you're a company, you can buy your own equity, basically save it, sell it later. So they're going to be selling $85 billion. So that's new equity. That's equity. It's not new equity. It's been in the company, but basically that's equity that's being released to the market. So that's going to get dumped on the market. And then Mark Zuckerberg, being the visionary that he is like, oh, well, if Google's doing it, I'll do it too. And so now Meta literally came out, and it looks like they might be selling equity in order to fund their AI expansion. And now you have Oracle, and they're going to be selling equity in order to fund their AI expansion. And the problem you get into with all, again, at a certain point in time, it just comes down to brass tacks. It just comes down to numbers. This isn't about whether people believe the story. This isn't about whether people like the paperwork, like the numbers, or whatever else. One of the issues I think we're getting into with this whole AI delusion is there is going to be just such a tremendous amount of basically asking for people's cash. And I think there's a real question there is there enough money on the table to fund all of this? That's after raising $43 billion in debt and $5 billion in equity in 2026, a move that concerned investors due to uncertainty about whether demand for AI can justify that much new capital. And that's the big question here. The technology is great, AI is great, but is there enough demand to actually be able to have that make sense? So yeah, I don't know. This might be where we start to see the investors really start to pull back from this idiocy. We'll have to see where it goes. Where basically you have because that's the thing. The investors, you buy low, you sell high. So one of that is looking at the story. One of those things is basically projecting out where is this company gonna go. And I think more and more investors are going to start projecting out where they think this artificial intelligence investment is going to lead. And I think more and more of them are going to start to have the opinion off a fucking cliff. And maybe they should get off the bus now, right? It's all exciting in the Hollywood movies where you have the car speeding towards the cliff and then the heroes like jump out at the last minute. If you're a good investor, you just want to get in the car. You're like, you're going to go on a high-speed chase somewhere? You're going to be racing up in the mountains? Yeah, I'm just going to sit here and have a beer. You go do that. You go have your exciting time. I'm just going to sit here and have a beverage and tell me how that goes, right? It might not be as exciting to not get in the car, but it is a hell of a lot safer. So what do you think about this? What do you think about Oracle doing better than expected and then seeing their stock drop by 10%? What do you think about investors getting more and more skittish about this insanity? And then do you think there is any way to have a soft landing? Right? When you see all of the circular financing, when you see all of the hype cycle, when you see all of these contracts that have been signed, is there a practical way for the AI delusion, the AI fraud, to have a soft landing? Or are we now at the point that this whole crap show has to go down in flames so all the contracts and everything else get burned up and we can start over again? I don't know. Put your thoughts down below. If you like these episodes, do remember they're on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts. Link is down below. If you want to follow me on LinkedIn, there's a link down there too. With that, see y'all later.